and I recognize the distinguished representative of Armenia.
Mr. President, I'm taking the floor in response to the distortions, misrepresentations, and allegations voiced by Azerbaijan during the general debate last Saturday. The statement of Azerbaijan, containing a number of fabricated legal, historical, political narratives and blatant disinformation, was yet another attempt to distract the attention of the international community from the continued policy of use of force and threat of force to achieve its expansionist goals in our region. The latest military offensive unleashed by Azerbaijan earlier this month targeted the eastern and southeastern regions of Armenia, causing more than 200 deaths, including among the civilian population. At least 20 servicemen were captured. Around 8,000 people, mostly women, children, and elderly, are temporarily displaced. In flagrant violation of the Geneva Conventions and international humanitarian law, Azerbaijan has captured, tortured, and killed a number of Armenian service personnel, among them several women who were exposed to most despicable barbarities, including sexual assault, violent murders, and mutilations. The atrocities have been video recorded, cheered, and extensively celebrated over social networks in Azerbaijan. The massive amount of disturbing evidence pointing to the criminal conduct by Azeri military is undeniable. It is ever more imperative that all acts of atrocities be fully investigated and perpetrators be brought to justice. Against the backdrop of brutal, senseless, and completely unjustifiable violence unleashed against Armenia and the Armenian people, hearing Azerbaijan's foreign minister flatly misstate from the General Assembly's rostrum that his country took adequate measures to neutralize threat against its sovereignty, and that the armed forces of Azerbaijan demonstrated utmost restraint and professionalism, unquote, is nothing short of ludicrous. For all the talk about provocations, threats, or any other pretext that country has been trying to fabricate to justify the unjustifiable, the fact remains that there has been no actual armed attack by Armenia against Azerbaijan. Mr. President, at the emergency meeting of the UN Security Council convened on the 15th of September upon Armenia's formal request, we heard the calls of the Council members who have been loud and clear. The strikes inside the territory of Armenia are unacceptable. All military forces must urgently return to their initial positions, and a complete ceasefire must be unconditionally observed and respected. The Council members were unanimous in their appeals. There can be no military or violent solution to the conflict. 12 days after the Security Council meeting, Azerbaijan is yet heed to the appeals of Council members. The Azeri troops continue to remain inside the territory of Armenia. The POWs are still in captivity, and military buildup continues on Armenia's frontiers. We note with utmost concern that Azerbaijan's latest attacks have only come to demonstrate that in the absence of proper accountability measures, policies of aggression are likely to continue and increase. This must be stopped and condemned at all levels. We heard the Minister of Azerbaijan say that the conflict resolution efforts under the auspices of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe yielded no results. While we understand that blaming the mediation format has been and continues to be the convenient modus operandi for Azerbaijan, the truth is that for many years, Azerbaijan has been consistently rejecting proposals for diplomatic settlement in blatant disregard towards its preeminent obligation to strictly adhere to the principles of non-use of force or threat of force and the pacific settlement of disputes as prescribed by the United Nations Charter. Instead, it sought to push for a deceptive, victim-blaming narrative as a purported justification for its long-standing objective to resolve the conflict by force and not through peaceful means. It is precisely for this reason that Azerbaijan has been so vehemently opposing any idea to creation of internationally monitoring verification mechanisms to identify ceasefire violations. Such measures, if established, would be instrumental to ending blame game and ending shooting and killing people on both sides. Mr. President, the claims that Azerbaijan resolved Nagorno-Karabakh conflict by force and the attempts to erase the very name of this Armenian populated land are demonstration of something that attests to a profound crisis, a crisis of reason, of intellect, and of the humanity, revealing instead nothing short of policy of ethnic cleansing and clear genocidal intent. I am compelled to recall that it was precisely for such policy and that type of intent that the conflict erupted at first place, when the peaceful human rights aspirations of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh were met with mass violence and pogroms of the Armenian population in Sumgait in February 1988 and in Baku, Kirovabad, and other cities in early 90s. Hundreds of Armenians living in Azerbaijan were killed, tortured, and maimed. Hundreds of thousands were deported. It is indeed deeply disturbing that 30 years on, extermination of the Armenians and shedding Armenian blood continues to remain the easiest and fastest ways of achieving popular support in the neighboring country. We heard the Azerbaijani minister say that Azerbaijan is resolute to reintegrate its citizens of Armenian origin residing in conflict-affected territories into its political, social, economic space, guaranteeing the same rights and freedoms with all citizens of Azerbaijan. Well, we all are aware in which rights and freedoms are guaranteed in Azerbaijan, whose human rights record is well known to the world. Just to recall a few rankings related to democracy and human rights in the neighboring country. According to the Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders, Azerbaijan is ranked 154th and qualifies as a country where the entire media sector is under official control. Freedom House qualifies Azerbaijan as not free in its report on global freedoms, and as well as Freedom on the Net report. Needless to recall the high-level corruption practices in Azerbaijan that has been periodically reported by the Organized Crime and Reporting Project as part of the Global Anti-Corruption Consortium. Mr. President, we have heard the Minister of Azerbaijan speak in favor of the dispatchment of UNESCO mission, while his country continues to deny UNESCO's access to Nagorno-Karabakh conflict zone in yet another manifestation of the intent to destroy the evidence of Armenian civilizational presence in the region and in direct violation of the ICJ order on provisional measures. This policy follows Azerbaijan's well-known pattern of committing cultural genocide, similar to the one perpetrated in the period of 1997-2006, when thousands of Christian Armenian monuments were intentionally destroyed and razed to the ground in Nakhichevan. Azerbaijan is yet to abide by its international humanitarian obligations vis-à-vis the Armenian POWs, as well as address the anti-Armenian rhetoric, including at the level of public officials and institutions, and commit in good faith to the preservation of Armenian cultural and religious heritage as rendered by the International Court of Justice through the provisional measures issued against Azerbaijan under the Convention on Elimination of Racial Discrimination in December 2021. Mr. President, the Minister of Azerbaijan accused Armenia of, quote, massive contamination by landmines and continued refusal to provide accurate and complete information on mined areas, unquote. We have heard Azerbaijan's assertions before, very often used as a pretext to justify armed aggression against our country. We have also seen that such assertions, bereft of actual evidence as they are, have little value in court of law. As Armenia explained at the International Court of Justice while addressing a similar accusation last year, for decades Armenia strived to complete a comprehensive demining process. However, Azerbaijan persistently blocked all such humanitarian efforts. Armenia had a long record of working with the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, on demining-related activities, including through the OSCE office in Yerevan. Yet it was Azerbaijan who forced the OSCE in 2016 to terminate those demining-related efforts. Moreover, Azerbaijan, through procedural manipulations, refused to extend the mandate of Yerevan.
Excellency, may I ask you to wrap up? The 10 minutes of intervention time is over.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up. Thank you, Mr. President. Armenia will continue to appeal to the United Nations and its respective bodies, as well as to the relevant international actors, to stand up to their responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security, and to resolutely condemn Azerbaijan's criminal attacks against the territorial integrity of Armenia and its people, to call for unconditional withdrawal of its troops from the territories of Armenia, and for immediate repatriation of all prisoners of war and other detained persons, and to uphold the norms of international law and the values of peace and humanity. Thank you.